My office, the one belonging to the vice president of Carter Corp., was handed over to a new intern named Bella White by my husband, Stephen Carter. She even had the audacity to post a picture of it on social media with a caption, "Grateful for the trust and mentorship of CEO Stephen. I'll do my best to live up to this opportunity." My assistant sent me a screenshot. In the photo, the entire layout of my office had been rearranged, and every single one of my awards and plaques was gone without a trace. I immediately forwarded the image to Stephen. "What the hell is this? Why is my private office being used by an intern?" He sent back a voice message, his tone slurred with liquor. "Babe, it's just an office. You haven't been using it lately anyway." I texted back, "You have 10 minutes to restore my office to its original state." No response. 2 minutes later, I halted Carter Corp's most critical contract. If someone wants to challenge my authority, I'm not afraid to bring the entire company down with it. Stephen's phone blew up with calls, and by the fifth one, I finally picked up. His furious voice roared through the line, "Diana, are you out of your mind? That's a $200 million project. The product launch is next week, and you're pulling the plug now? Over a damn office?" In our 5 years of marriage, this was the first time he'd raised his voice at me over another woman. I sipped my red apple tea, its warmth sliding down my throat, but my heart felt ice cold. "It's worth it, Stephen Carter. Restore my office, every award, every plaque, exactly as it was. Or the company will lose a lot more." Silence hung on the other end for a few seconds. "You have 5 minutes, I said coolly, then hung up. 2 minutes later, he sent a photo of my office, restored to its original state. The moment I received it, I contacted the project lead and lifted the contract suspension. Then, I sent Stephen a photo of his own study, completely cleared out, including the prized antique he'd recently won at an auction, his most treasured possession. I followed it with another image, the antique shattered on the floor. "Stephen Carter, this is your punishment. You know how I operate. I'm letting this slide once, but there won't be a next time." He didn't reply. I knew he was furious, but my anger burned hotter. Our marriage was a strategic alliance between two corporate giants. Last year, he needed Taylor Corp's international distribution channels, and I needed Carter Corp's domestic manufacturing plants. It was a mutually beneficial deal, no romance, just logic. "Diana, this isn't just business. After we marry, I'll trust and respect you," Stephen had said, gripping my hand with earnest eyes before the wedding. I valued his candor. "Here's to a successful partnership," I'd replied with a smile. Over 5 years, we went from strangers to confidants, from respect to reliance, and eventually, to love. We navigated countless business dinners, leaned on each other through exhausting nights, and this year, we welcomed our son. That child was the ultimate proof of our bond, making me believe our relationship was unshakable. But Bella White's arrival shattered the trust and synergy we'd built. That night, Stephen didn't come home, his way of signaling his anger. The next morning, I left our son with the nanny and headed to the office. Employees' eyes widened when they saw me, then quickly offered respectful greetings. "Mrs. Taylor, you're still on maternity leave. Why are you back so soon?" A young receptionist asked, concerned. "Just checking in on things," I said with a nod, heading straight to the executive floor. As the elevator doors opened, I heard laughter from Stephen's office. Through the slightly ajar door, I saw Bella White sitting close to him. His smile was warm, a stark contrast to the cold professionalism he showed other assistants. He'd never let anyone linger in his office like this, let alone with such intimacy. But there they were, inches apart, chatting like old friends. Bella was wearing a high-end designer outfit, the exact one I'd admired, which Stephen had promised to buy for me. It was a limited edition piece, one of only 5 in the world, and now it was on an intern. I pushed the door open, and the laughter stopped dead. Stephen's smile froze. "What are you doing here?" he asked, his voice stiff. Bella stood quickly, feigning respect with a syrupy tone. "Hi, Mrs. Taylor. I heard you just had a baby. Everyone says postpartum changes your figure, but you've bounced back so well." I let out a cold laugh. "My figure's none of your business. Who the hell hired someone as disrespectful as you?" Bella's smile faltered, her hands fidgeting nervously. I locked eyes with her, my voice icy. "Take off that outfit. Now." The room's atmosphere dropped to freezing. Bella's eyes widened, her lips trembling in disbelief. She glanced at Stephen, her doe-like eyes brimming with tears, begging for rescue. I turned to him, my gaze like steel. "Explain why she's wearing my dress." Stephen frowned, clearly annoyed. "After the office incident, Bella got some flack from colleagues, so I made it up to her." "It's just a dress, Diana." "I'll get you a better one." "Made it up to her?" I scoffed. "That dress is one of 5 globally. What makes an intern like her think she can wear it?" She brought yesterday's mess on herself with her own arrogance. "Stephen, have you forgotten who you are and who I am? Who gave you the right to give my things away?" My words cut like knives, and Bella's face paled, her eyes welling up. She stammered, "Mrs. Taylor, I didn't know it was yours." "I'll take it off right now." But Stephen interrupted, his temper flaring. "Diana, you're going too far. We've got a project to deal with. Stop making a scene." My heart sank. He'd never raised his voice to me in the office before, yet here he was, defending an intern. "What project?" I asked. "The Alpha Group deal. Bella's been a huge help, so I'm bringing her along." He loosened his tie, growing more impatient. I raised an eyebrow, smirking. Wow, I didn't realize an intern had the skills to influence decisions at a publicly traded company. Stephen's face darkened. He grabbed his briefcase, motioning to Bella. "Let's go. We're wasting time." As they passed me, Bella shot me a smug, taunting smile. "Stephen Carter, you brought this on yourself," I said. "If you're set on protecting Bella White, don't blame me for what comes next." Once they left, I called the chairman of Alpha Group directly. "Thomas, it's Diana Taylor. About Stephen's meeting with you today, I have a few things to say." An hour later, Stephen's call came through, his voice practically shaking with rage. "Diana, what the hell are you doing?" "Thomas humiliated Bella at the meeting, called her a homewrecker, a woman who sleeps her way to the top. He said you built Taylor Corp single-handedly, and I'm an ungrateful bastard who cheated while you were on maternity leave." "You set this up, didn't you?" I laughed softly. "Stephen, I don't control what others think or say. People have eyes, they see the truth." Bella left in tears, and the deal fell through. "Happy now?" "Thrilled," I said. "Karma's a bitch." I hung up, feeling a weight lift off my chest. Later, my assistant reported that Bella's drama had spread through the company. Colleagues whispered and pointed, some openly calling her shameless and manipulative. Her desk was trashed, and despite her tearful protests, I'm not that kind of person. No one cared. Why would they risk crossing the vice president over an intern? So, they piled on, kicking her while she was down. I'd seen this play out too many times. Bella White was reaping what she sowed. An intern with no background or skills, thinking she could climb the ladder just because Steven gave her a pat on the head. What a joke. Humiliated and furious, Bella resigned. Since she was still on probation, HR approved it instantly, no questions asked. Her downfall was her own doing. Who told her to overreach, eyeing both my position and my husband? Steven, after scrambling to salvage the Alpha deal, returned to find Bella gone. His face turned to stone. That night, as I sang our son to sleep, his chubby cheeks and features mirroring Steven's, he stood in the nursery doorway, tense but keeping his voice low. Bella did nothing wrong. She was just a hard-working girl. Now, because of you, she's lost her job and her reputation. Diana, you've gone too far. I motioned for silence, gently laying our son in his crib. Outside the room, I shut the door and faced him, my tone icy. Steven, I'll say it again, I didn't orchestrate Bella's downfall. Despite my resolve, his angry, suspicious eyes stung. Ask yourself, how many rules did you break for her? Your indulgence gave her the nerve to overstep. Between me and Bella, is it really innocent? Completely innocent. He snapped. Innocent enough to give her my dress and let her lounge in your office? You wouldn't even let your old assistant put a chair in there temporarily. But for her, you keep bending over backward, even yelling at me, the woman who just gave you a son? I held my head high, each word deliberate. Steven, I love you. That's why I married you and bore your child. But you know I don't tolerate betrayal or deceit, even in thought. Cross that line, even emotionally, and I won't hesitate to give our son a new father. His face paled, and he stormed off to the living room. I knew it was over for now. He'd cool off there overnight, and the next day, we'd make up, pretending nothing happened. That's how we'd maintained our marriage for 5 years, through compromise and silence. But this time, it wasn't about work or family. It was about another woman. The first time and the last. The next morning, Steven's phone rang. Bella White's name flashed on the screen. He hesitated but answered. Her sobbing voice came through, broken and desperate. Mr. Carter, I don't know what to do. Don't cry, just tell me what's wrong, he said, his tone softening, brows furrowed. I'm being attacked online. My photos are everywhere, people calling me a homewrecker, a gold digger. I'm scared to leave my house. Her voice trembled, her cries growing louder. Steven's face darkened, his eyes burning as he looked at me. Stay home, don't go out. I'll handle it. Bella's clash with me had already spread through the business world. Even without my intervention, partners eager to curry favor with me knew what to do. I checked the online chatter that morning. It wasn't as bad as she made it sound. But Bella knew how to play the fragile victim to trigger Steven's protective instincts. After hanging up, his anger exploded. He slammed his phone on the table, eyes bloodshot. Diana, what's your endgame? Bella's gone from the company, out of our lives. Why can't you let her go? When did you become so cruel, abusing your power as the CEO's wife? I didn't hold back, slamming my plate down, my gaze icy. Stephen, I didn't do anything. The whole company knows she crossed me. Who else but you is dumb enough to stick their neck out for her? In all these years, have I ever done something I wouldn't own up to? Yet you keep doubting me over and in turn. I think she's got your head all messed up. His face went white, and he stormed out, slamming the door. I calmly wiped my mouth, watching his retreating figure. My anger had faded, replaced by disappointment. That afternoon, while scrolling social media, I noticed the smear campaign against Bella had vanished. In its place was an official Carter Corp statement, declaring Bella an outstanding employee hired purely on merit. It condemned malicious rumors and threatened legal action against defamers. My phone lit up with a message from my assistant, Mrs. Taylor. Stephen not only had legal issue the statement but announced Bella's reinstatement as his chief secretary. He's warned that anyone spreading rumors or gossiping will be fired. The whole company's buzzing, everyone says there's something going on between them. The message hit me like a punch. Then came another screenshot, Bella's latest post. Workplace storms have passed. Adversity tests true strength. My efforts weren't in vain. Thank you, Mr. Carter, for believing in my abilities. I'll give my all to support you. Attached was her appointment letter as chief secretary, with a salary matching a VP's. I gripped my phone, my knuckles white. Less than an hour later, Stephen came home for documents, not even glancing at me. He headed upstairs, grabbed what he needed, and moved to leave. I tapped the coffee table. Stephen Carter, what the hell are you playing at? He stopped, his eyes cold. Bella's a hard worker who got unfairly targeted by you, fired, and cyberbullied. I'm just fixing your mess. She deserves this. What if I demand you fire her? Try it. I've tolerated you because you're my wife. I let it slide when you abused your power to hurt others, but I'm done. I won't sacrifice Bella for you again. I won't let you run wild anymore. He turned and left, the door slamming behind him. In that moment, I was done with this man. 5 years, from strangers to partners, and yet a woman who'd been around for barely 2 weeks had cracked it all. I sank onto the sofa, rage and pain swirling inside. The glass in my hand shattered, blood dripping from my palm. I clenched my jaw, forcing myself to stay calm. If you've chosen Bella White, don't blame me for what's coming. Stephen Carter, you'll pay for this. Resolved, I called my lawyer, Michael Lee. Michael, I need a divorce agreement drafted. Assets split clearly, not a penny less. He was stunned. Mrs. Taylor, are you sure? This isn't a snap decision. Immediately. 3 days, on my desk. What about Mr. Carter? Don't tell him. This is my call. After hanging up, I opened my laptop, pulling up all commercial agreements between Taylor Corp and Carter Corporation. 5 years of marriage had given Carter Corp too many privileges and resources. Now, it was time to take them back. I ordered Taylor Corp's overseas HQ to pause all joint projects with Carter Corp, citing technical adjustments. Yes, Mrs. Taylor, came the crisp reply, no questions asked, as always with Taylor Corporation. Next, I instructed HR to double the salaries of the key technical team we'd lent to Carter Corp and recall them immediately. These swift moves caught my father's attention. He called right away. "Diana, I'm divorcing Stephen Carter," I said, cutting to the chase. Silence, then his steady voice, "You sure?" "Crystal clear." "Good. We trust you and support you. If you're set, do it clean. The Taylors don't do messy." Within 2 days, I quietly pulled everything. Money from joint accounts was transferred out, leaving Stephen no access. He had no clue. Meanwhile, Bella's social media was buzzing, daily posts with Stephen at business events, new car, new watch, new office. Each captioned, "Thanks to Mr. Carter for his mentorship." I glanced at the first post, then blocked her. That trash wasn't worth my time. I focused on launching my new company. Stephen called, "Diana, it's my dad's birthday today. He wants us at the family estate. If you don't want to go, I'll go alone." His voice was distant. I glanced at the divorce papers on my desk and smirked. "I'll be there. It's time to settle this." At 7 p.m., I pulled my Maybach into the Carter estate. The yard was lit up, laughter spilling from inside. Stephen's parents and relatives greeted guests at the door. Seeing me alone, they looked surprised. "Diana, where's Stephen?" "He said he'd be here later," I replied. They welcomed me warmly, the butler handing me a cup of Earl Grey. I sat on the sofa, sipping calmly. Half an hour later, the gate opened again. Stephen arrived, late, with Bella White trailing behind. His father's face darkened, anger flashing in his eyes. "Stephen, this is a family event. Why'd you bring an outsider?" "Dad, Bella's my chief secretary. We just wrapped up work, so I brought her along. Family dinner or not, why mix it with company business?" His father's voice sharpened, "Get her out." Bella's expression shifted, her eyes pleading with Stephen. Her act worked. He defended her, "Dad, she's my right hand. She hasn't eaten all day. Let her stay." His father's anger flared. No matter how busy, Diana never brought an assistant to family events. "This is home, not a corporate mixer." "Butler, escort her out." The butler hesitated, glancing around. Bella stood behind Stephen, sneaking a smug glance at me. That was the last straw. "No need," I said, cutting through the tension. I pulled a folder from my blazer and placed it on the table. "I'm here for this." When eyes landed on the bold title divorce agreement, the room went silent. Stephen's briefcase hit the floor with a thud, his face ashen. "Diana, you're divorcing me? Are you insane?" I met his gaze, then Bella's, before locking eyes with him again, my voice calm but lethal, "I'm perfectly sane." His parents rushed forward, trying to mediate. "Diana, if there's a misunderstanding, talk it out. Divorce is a big step. No need for talk." My mind's made up. "I won't sign," Stephen shouted, eyes red. "Just because I made Bella my secretary?" I looked at him, unwavering. "You know exactly why, Stephen." I stared him down, each word deliberate. "I warned you. I gave you a chance. Diana Taylor doesn't give second chances, but I made an exception. You didn't value it. If you choose to lift up a mistress over me, Don't cry when I hit back." The room erupted in chaos. Stephen refused to sign. His mother grabbed my hand, pleading, "Diana, calm down. We can work this out." I gently but firmly pulled away. "I've decided. There's no going back. Stephen, sign or we'll settle this in court." I walked out, leaving the chaotic party behind. Standing by the floor-to-ceiling window, I gazed at the city skyline, feeling lighter than ever. My assistant, James, entered with a report, barely containing his excitement. "Mrs. Taylor, 30 more key Carter Corp employees applied to join us today. That's 100 tech leads we've poached. Their stock tanked at the opening bell, 5th day in a row. Major projects are stalled. Word on the street is Carter Corp's on the brink." I nodded. It was all going as planned. Without Taylor Corp's support or its tech team, Carter Corp was a fish out of water, flopping helplessly. "Oh, and one more thing," James added, smirking. In Carter Corp's board meeting, Bella pushed a pivot to tech. The project crashed and burned. Their teams in total disarray. I gave a faint smile. A lit major dictating tech strategy, what a clown. Her failure was inevitable. Bella was all flash, no substance, and Stephen's blind trust in her was his downfall. My phone lit up, Stephen's 15th missed call today. I blocked him without a second thought. I didn't care for his excuses or apologies. Rumor had it, after Carter Corp's stock plummeted and projects stalled, Stephen finally woke up and fired Bella. Too late. The company's market value had halved. That afternoon, security called, "Mrs. Taylor, Mr. Carter's in the lobby, demanding to see you." No meeting. He says he won't leave. Let him stand there, I said firmly. Keep an eye on him. No disruptions. I hung up and dove back into work. He still didn't get it? It was over. That evening, my assistant reported Stephen stood in the lobby for 2 hours before security escorted him out. The next day, security called again, his father this time. I paused, then agreed to see him. The Carters had always treated me well. When he entered, his eyes were bloodshot, his posture weary. He got straight to the point. "Diana, I know Stephen screwed up, but he's truly sorry. Can you give him a chance?" His voice carried a plea, his eyes hopeful. I responded gently but firmly, "I respect you, but there's no fixing this. He knows he was wrong. For the sake of your marriage, please." I cut him off. Some mistakes don't get a redo. Firing Bella doesn't erase his betrayal. He didn't just disrespect me, he betrayed our bond. I don't forgive and forget. There's no future for us. If he won't sign, I'll keep squeezing Carter Corp until it collapses. His face fell. After a pause, he said, "I understand. I'll convince him to sign. You'll raise your son, but we'd like to visit him." I nodded, maintaining my stance despite my sympathy. I wanted no further ties to Stephen. He left with a heavy sigh, his shoulders slumped. 3 days later, the signed divorce agreement landed on my desk. That night, as I left the office, I saw Bella White, disheveled and pinned by security. Spotting me, she thrashed wildly, screaming, "Diana, you ruined my career, my life." I stood my ground, looking down at her coldly. "Bella, you're confused. You were fired for incompetence. Your strategies were garbage, full of holes. Her face twisted, rage and shame mixing as I hit her weak spot. I continued, you climbed to chief secretary by playing the victim, milking Stephen's pity. All you've got is a pretty face and no brains. Your only skill is latching onto men for a leg up. You manipulated, schemed, and hid behind Stephen. In my eyes, you're nothing but a cheap gold digger. Her face went ghostly white. She broke free, lunging at me, shut up. I'll kill you. I didn't flinch. Security pinned her down just in time. I stepped closer, pressing my heel onto her hand. Bella, if I see you again, you're done. Crushing you would be easier than squashing an ant. Pray I never see your face again. She collapsed, screaming hysterically, Diana, you'll pay for this. Security dragged her away like a madwoman. That night, an anonymous account leaked Bella's sordid past photos of her cozying up to rich men at a nightclub, videos of her stealing, and text scamming an ex. I didn't orchestrate it, but plenty wanted to curry favor with Taylor Corporation. Stephen's father used his influence to blacklist Bella, leaving her nowhere to go. She returned to her old nightclub job and, within a month, reportedly died from exhaustion and illness. In the 6 months post-divorce, I signed 3 major deals. My company's stock doubled, and my career soared. Business Weekly named me the most influential businesswoman of the year. Stephen, with his father's help, began rebuilding Carter Corp., a slow and grueling process. He appeared in news clips occasionally, his once sharp eyes now dulled by experience. 3 years later, my company leads the industry. As a single CEO, I'm pursued by many, but my heart belongs to my career and my son, Henry. At 4, he's bright and lively, with my smile. I've poured my time into him, driving him to preschool daily and keeping a corner of my office filled with his toys and drawings. Mom, when's Dad coming to see me? He asked, eyes sparkling. I glanced at my calendar. Your birthday's in 2 days. He'll bring a gift. Per our divorce agreement, Stephen sees Henry twice a month, 3 hours each time. In 3 years, he's never missed a visit, always punctual with thoughtful gifts, trying to make up for his failures. Despite my lingering pain, I never block his access to Henry for our son's sake. Stephen's efforts have stabilized Carter Corp., though it's a shadow of its former self. We cross paths at business events, exchanging polite nods before going our separate ways, no words needed. On Henry's 4th birthday, I hosted a small party at home with his friends and nannies. That afternoon, the doorbell rang. Stephen stood there, holding a massive gift box. Birthday present, he said. I took it, nodding. 3 hours. He nodded back, a flicker of reluctance in his eyes. I left without another word. Over the past 3 years, he's tried to rekindle things, reminiscing about our past at events or lingering after dropping Henry off. He's even sent mutual friends to say he still loves me, hoping for a second chance. I've gently shut them all down. Some things, once broken, stay broken. My life now thriving career, healthy son is full and meaningful. Compared to the constraints of my old marriage, I'm freer and more at peace than ever.